Rock stars, Eric Andreas, your guitar sage here. My friends, would you like the ability to take any lick and get 6 times the mileage from it on your guitar? Would you like to know a powerful trick to unlocking the fretboard in a dead simple way? And lastly, would you like to prevent getting lost on the fretboard as much? If you answered yes, my friends, I have a fascinating trick to share with you that's gonna do all of that. In fact, what you just saw there in the beginning was actually me using this trick. Okay, I call this the adjacent string trick, and the basic premise is this. Any lick, any series of notes, or anything that you do on strings 1 and 2, 3 and 4, or 5 and 6 can actually be played the exact same way in 6 different places on the neck if you apply this concept. Now, it can actually be any adjacent strings, but more on that later. Also, I have created a PDF for you that you can download, and I'll make sure to put a link in the description of this video, so you don't want to forget to get that because it's really going to explain things further, okay? Now to start, however, we're going to look at just strings 1 and 2. Even though we can do this on other strings, I mentioned that we'll talk about that later. We're just going to look at strings 1 and 2 right now and how that goes across all the other strings, okay? Because if we do that, you're going to get this concept very quickly. Okay, so let's do that first, and then I'll show you how you can do that on any adjacent string later on, okay? So this is how it works. And I literally discovered this one day while noodling and finding all these notes all over the fretboard like this. So if I were to take, and by the way, I'm in A minor. I'm playing the A minor pentatonic or A minor blues. And if I play this lick right here, or any, could be any phrase, not matter. That's on strings 1 and 2, or 2 and 1 respectively. I can take that and I can move it to strings 4 and 3. And I can also take that same lick and move it to strings 6 and 5. Now, for some of you, you're like, wait a minute. Others of you, you're like, yeah, that's the octave. You weren't talking about the octaves there. And others of you are probably like, hold on, wait a minute. This is mind-blowing, okay? Because I know for me it was, and this is why it's so mind-blowing. Now, not only can we do that same lick in 3 different places, we actually can do them in 6 different places if we move it up the neck, right? So we could also, so 6 different places, the exact same lick. Now, why is that super powerful? I'll tell you why. Because if I'm playing a lick up here, and then I want to go to another place on the neck, it's familiar to me. It doesn't mean that I have to do the same exact lick, but I know where all the sweet notes are. I know where all the notes are that I should be resting on, right? On that A. That's not going to change when I come down here. And right here. That's the tonic of that pentatonic scale or blues scale. So I can riff up here. Now if you're doing that you may do that once or twice in a solo, right? To show, to repeat a lick instead of going. You could go, right? You might do that once or twice just for expression, but where it's really going to be powerful is if you're playing a lick, and then you come here and you go, and you change it up. Just doing something a little bit different. And what that's going to allow you to do is literally play these licks all over the neck, and you're not going to get lost. Another great thing that you can do is improvise in one part of the neck. I covered this in the Unstoppable Guitar System when I'm talking about minimalistic blues. If you want to learn how to solo, it's best to do it in one section of the neck and get really familiar with that. But if you don't know this trick, you're going to go, well, I only know this one little section here. But in fact, you know 6 times as much as you think you do, because you can take that little section, move it here, and the other 3 places that I mentioned. If you're wondering what I did further up the neck, see my springboards technique, either inside the Unstoppable Guitar System, or I do have a video or two here on YouTube about that. Just search YourGuitarSage springboards. Now, the other thing is you want to make sure that you get that PDF because it's going to spell it all out for you just the way I'm teaching it here. Now, I did promise you that I would also show you how to do this on any adjacent strings. When we're talking about adjacent strings, we're talking about strings that are next to each other, right? The only caveat to this is I wanted to make this dead simple for you. And if the lick is on strings 1 and 2, it's the same on 3 and 4, same on 5 and 6. The exact same fingering and everything. The only difference is this, and this is something that we need to talk about before I show you any adjacent strings bit. When we're playing the lick, now this has to do with the tuning of the guitar. We're not going to go into all the specifics here, but if I play this lick here on frets 8, or I should say I'm in position 8. Then to play the next part, I need to go down 3 frets. And then for the last one, the low one, I go down 2 frets. So if you're starting up here, you're gonna go down 3 frets, and if you're starting here, you're gonna go down 2. Make sense? It'll make sense when you look at the PDF, I promise you. But that just has to do with the tuning of the guitar. It's been like this for a few hundred years. So we just got to get used to it. That's all. Okay? All right, great. Now I mentioned to you that I'm also going to show you how to do this with other adjacent strings. It doesn't have to be 1 and 2. It could be 2 and 3, or 3 and 4, or 5 and 6, or whatever. It could be 4 and 5. But where this is not quite as easy is because of the tuning of the B string on the guitar makes it a little bit squirrely, okay? We have the guitar tuned the way it is so that we can play bar chords and open chords and everything else. Trust me, you don't want to try to tune your guitar differently to circumvent this, okay? But if I were to play... So you notice that that note on the bottom, I'm playing with my second finger, so it's kind of in the middle of these two fingers here, right? But if I played it down here, it's not in between these 2 frets, it's where it should be. So that's the only caveat to if you wanted to do this kind of internally here in these strings. That being said, if you don't get this, don't worry about it. You'll get it later on. Do the easy stuff right now. Don't think that the easy stuff means you're not going to get as much information or it's not going to be as powerful, because it's more powerful if you just get it and you're able to do this right away. So here's your homework. Are you ready? What I want you to do is find some jam tracks. I have jam tracks here online. Just search YourGuitarSage jam tracks. Tons if you're inside the Unstoppable Guitar System. And what I want you to do is I want you to practice some lick. Doesn't matter what it is. And then I want you to practice it down here. And just noodle with it. And then try the other areas. And you're going to get an idea of this, and then all of a sudden all the other notes are going to start shaping up as well, because this works for absolutely every single note and absolutely every single lick. Strings 1 and 2 are equivalent to strings 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. That is it, my friends. Hopefully you liked this video. If you did, you know what to do. Like, sub, all that good stuff if you want. Leave a comment though below, because I want to know what you think. I'm making these videos for you, not for me. I know this stuff. I'm doing this for you. So please let me know how I can help you as a guitar player. Leave those comments below. Talk amongst yourselves, all the rest. Friends, as always, be kind to all beings. Do the right thing always. Practice your guitar. I'll see you in the next video.